Hello, welcome. Today is Monday, and we're starting the week with heavy heart, with everything that is happening here in America, and we're gonna have the chance to discuss that and the career and work of our very talented artist Koray Erkaya from Turkey, and he's now living in Canada, and we are very excited about the possibility to go over the entire career and the entire view that he have and through his camera, Koray. So we're gonna wait for him to connect in, and we're gonna invite him. Here he is. He's more technological than I am. Let's see. Here he is. Koray, how are you, Koray?
Hi, how are you? How is Miami?
I am in Miami. Thank you so much for joining us. Very appropriate outfit you have at this moment.
Yeah, actually, this is from the Cold War, from Russia.
Oh, so well.
It's a Russian mask that I used one of my series before.
Yeah, it's very handy now.
Yeah.
In these circumstances, which are terrible. And thank you so much for joining us. I always start this conversation with all the artists, asking them how did we meet, how did we become acquaintance with your work.
How we meet last December and this December in Art Miami. You came
Yeah.
to Gamma Gallery, Shule, you know Shule before, and
Wonderful.
also, you know, Ayşegül invited you to our booth and her booth also there, and we met like that. After that, I visited your venue, your house. You have an enormous collection about photography that I saw.
Thank you. Yeah, it was fun. You know, I was very captured with your artwork because I saw the many moments that you have and the very series that you have developed through the years. You know, and that it was a very something that really touched my heart. In a way, you know, you are very more into portrait not only the human being but also the stories behind that. So tell us, how did you start your career and where?
I mean, actually, after I graduated from the photography department of Fine Arts University, I started, but actually I worked as a fashion and a commercial photographer like more than 25 years. In that period, I got a biggest prize from the advertisement of advertisement agencies gave me the biggest Crystal Apple awarded for the photo of the year, commercial photograph of the year in that period. And it was 1993. And I used that photo also after that. I called the X. But with your photos, which this one, actually, the story.
Another version on the back.
Yeah, you have the other one at the back as well, the same one. That's an interesting story because one of my ship owner friend, he bought old transatlantic from New York. It's called US Transatlantic, and he all the way pulled out to brought to Istanbul, and he wanted to renew it and use it, but somehow from the media they made a campaign about there's an asbestos inside, and somehow it stayed in Istanbul a month. And as a chance, I asked him to make a shooting inside, and I did this shooting. And after this shooting, a week later, that ship went to Ukraine and became a razor. It's a sad story, but this is the last shoot inside that historical ship, and the story began. And I was at that time very young after the university and everything. And it's how it started. And after I got the prize, and
And who
I
was the
worked for.
model? And who was the model? Why do you choose this particular lady? Because she's very old-fashioned beauty in a way. You know, it's a little bit of a Sophia Loren kind of look.
Yeah. At that time, she's from South Africa model named Diane right now, but I never reached her. I made shootings in that time, a couple of shootings, like around 4 or 5 for a fashion shoots. And I asked her to make this kind of shooting in the ship. She said, yes, okay. And I organized the shooting and everything, and we went and we did the shooting there. But after that shoot, she returned back to South Africa and never returned back to Istanbul. And of course, the social media is not so good in that time, so I'm never gonna find her. She has no idea about her photos right now.
Oh, will be a great way to find her in South Africa. I'm gonna put my network to find out. And but you know, it's funny because you starting with this particular series, you know, it's a very romantic in a way, you know, and the way that you capture her in that sort of black and white situation and a desolated boat, but it still doesn't look to me any longer a fashion picture. It's more a rhetorical picture of the story of the boat and why she's there and the risk that she's taking to be there.
I think I thought like that. I wanna this kind of shooting instead of a fashion shoot, something more erotic and more point to the people to show. In that time, most of the fashion shoots are so similar to each other, and I made a little bit. I want to make a little bit different shooting, and it came to the people so good in that time. I mean, and this shoot opened my way after that.
Yeah.
In a good way. I started to work. One of my right now, she's a very good friend of mine, Sibel, and we started to work after this shooting. She found me for this shoot. She saw the photos and she thought that it's a foreign photographer, but after she read that it's me, it's written on the. Actually, I gave these photos to Esquire magazine as an interview. They made an interview with me, so she saw this interview, and we started to shoot the models and work together. And still, we are working. She's writing all my series right now.
And there is a, sorry to interrupt you. There is this amazing, you know, I like to start to work to you know, continue the conversation with this series of black and whites, because this sort of homage to the body of the woman without being at all sexier. They're just a very sculptural picture. They remind me very much, you know, the work of Irving Penn in a way, when you have these amazing sort of big figures, you know. You shoot in a black and white with a black and white purpose, but with an old camera or with a new camera?
No, of course, with an old camera. In those days, till 2006, I did shoot analog. And
Analog.
all my life, I shot analog with the films, and I studied analog photography in the university. And right now, I return back to analog as well. I'm still shooting analog.
How
Digital came to our lives in 1999. I was the work for the Fujifilm in that time, one of the representatives of the Fujifilm, and they said to me, we have a new camera in 1999, it's the digital one. I said, okay, but They sent me the camera. I tried. Of course, I used the camera, but it's not the same thing. The last analog shoot I remember I did in 2005, I think, December in Maldives for a swimwear campaign. After that, I bought a Hasselblad digital, and it's a new life started. Now I have the digital cameras, but I return back to my old ones, even the 4.5-inch camera with the below ones, and I have a Fuji with the below camera as well. Right now, last 2 years I return back to these cameras and using them. It's not easy to find the films right now, but in black and white films that I'm using, I start to develop all my films
Oh,
again after all that years.
yeah, it's great to see because the light and the crispness and the quality of the prints also in the way that you are developing and printing and made them in archival papers and you know we have sell them as limited edition prints in our online art pages. You know the piece is really solid, you know, and we have lots of a story because it's in a way there the sexiness of the body of the woman, but also an art piece. Do you want it to reflect that always when you don't include the face of the person, especially in the bodies pictures?
It's a line. Some of them I see the faces, some of them I'm not. Those photos that I'm cutting the face as well, because most of the viewers, when they see a photo, most of them don't want to see the face. They are going to imagine. I'm going to leave that imagination for them.
Yeah.
Mostly, if I'm going to pass the women's side, it's easy. The men's always love, but the wives, especially, I don't know what they are thinking, but I'm always stop on that side, on the women's side. But when the woman loves my photos, it's easy to sell.
Absolutely.
So cutting the face, maybe for me, for her to imagine of the rest of the photo.
Yeah, no, I can see it. You know, it's you call this particular series "Don't Tell Mama."
Yes, don't tell mama.
Which is pretty much the whole thing. You know, you're coming here to the studio to do that, but then you end in doing a period. You know, so you get all these amazing sort of black and white portraits. They're in many galleries and collection people, but then it's also a manifestation of being a rebel in the art. Do you consider yourself a rebel, being coming from a country that is in a way very, you know, conservative?
Conservative side. So I mean, I lived in a very conservative community in Istanbul, but when you look, it's conservative. But the rest of the life is not so conservative there. But the story is begin. One of my friends, and he has a textile company, lingerie company in that time, and we worked a lot in 90s together. He's a little bit crazy guy. I love him, and he's my friend as well. And he moved to France late 90s. Somehow he returned back in 2010 to Istanbul, and he called me. When we had a coffee together, he called me to talk. While talking, he asked me what happened, all these photos, all these years to me, and while he was not there, I said, okay, I have still the archive, and we can check for it. And he came to my place, and after he saw a couple of photos, he said, immediately we have to open an exhibition. I said, what? Yeah, we have to open an exhibition. I said, okay, and I'll give you 2 months. And he organized everything. The venue, he was there, he was with me, and we opened the exhibition in 2 months' time. I gave the name Don't Tell Mama in that time. Somehow for me, I find the name, and it was a big success, the Istanbul exhibition. In that year, we took the exhibition to Paris, after Arles, then Russia. It's okay. I started then as a commercial and a fashion photographer. After that, I made this series like a conceptual photography. I found one concept and mostly doing the concept on that. I create the concept,
The
and after
installation, the whole installation within the place.
the all of them, the place and the concept, they are working together on the both sides. Even the concept and how you open the exhibition, it's complete together. Yeah. And for me, if I'm going to find a concept, I'm going to think on it first before shooting. I never shoot, oh, okay, I'm going to shoot like this. I find a model, she wants to give a pose to me. I never do that. So that's for me, it's like a boudoir shooting.
That's fantastic. And then when you move from Don't Tell Mama and you show it in Paris and in Russia and in Istanbul and has been published in many places, and then you strictly pass to this particular period that is fascinating to me, which is these images, you know, these sort of smoke images. They're a reflection of glass and mirrors and many little pictures. How does it come, this idea to?
How is this come to idea? Before that, before we are coming to here, because it started with Self Touches series. They are all combined together. After Don't Tell Mama, another friend, good friend of mine, is an engineer, and he called me one day, Koray, I wanted you to shoot my documentary. I said, what are you doing in these days? He said, I'm going to make a solar plant. Okay, renewable energy, but mine is different, he said. It's one of the third example of the world, and he found a place in the southern Turkey. I said, okay, and he's a good friend of mine. I go south of Turkey a lot to started to shoot when it comes to the mirror, because his plant is with the mirrors, huge mirrors, reflects to one point, and there's a boiler there, and it makes the heat up around 800 degrees, and so it makes the steam. They give the steam down, turns the turbine makes electricity. It's so simple. It's like how we burn a paper with a magnifier in our childhood. We all did this, okay, as an experimental. So while shooting, he asked me different kind of questions about the mirrors. The mirrors, I said, I don't know. Let's calculate the mirror reflections and the light in there. I said, I don't know. But after I learned from him, the mirrors that he's using, he bought those mirrors in that time from Germany. In those mirrors, the light is very less from the other mirrors. I don't understand first, but the mirrors is much less normal mirrors, 10% clearer and higher reflectivity than the mirrors we normally use.
And that's how you reflect the image in the mirror. How do you achieve this amazing sort of tranquility in the image?
The image is more clear. The mirrors, let me explain to you. For the thickness of the mirror, a light comes, let's say 4mm glass, and it continues inside that tiny glass and reflects from the backward. But the lead amount is less on those mirrors, so those mirrors are 94% reflection ratio. Normally, the mirrors that we are going to buy from the market, the highest quality of the mirror is 85% backward reflection. But we did not see any better as a human being. So after I learned
Somebody's actually tell us to don't tell your secrets, which is kind of funny. But you know, it's not the entire secret that we're going to do.
But I use those mirrors. I mean, from that plant, because these mirrors were not sold separately. Just they are producing for these kind of solar plants. We can't buy from the market. I mean, if you go, you can buy it. Of course, after I learned this from the plant, I transferred 4 of them to Istanbul to try. But somehow, continuously, I broke them while on the trials. So I continue to transfer the mirrors to Istanbul. Of course, I adapt to somehow to my system, and self-touches appeared in that period with the mirror.
It's funny how, if you take a look at these 3 images, you know, these 3 particular sort of series or 2.5 series, you know, you reflect the sort of vintage kind of look of a picture, you know, the reality, but in a way they're sort of staged in different areas. So they're always like a movie, you know, you decide, as you mentioned before, to create the sort of fantastic sets, like the one that you did with the mirror situation. And then you go back, you know, and you immediately create these other setups, you know, they're also, it's all about the reflection of the human being and how to capture it 3-dimensionally in many different ways. And just to see that is just make the picture in movement.
Yes, I want to, after self-touches, I want to take them a little bit more high with the mirrors. What am I going to do? How I'm going to make more reflections? So I try to think and think and think. Tried a lot with the mirror reflections. They are so important, the mirror angles. And so at the end of the day, I made a mirror labyrinth for myself. I tried, and I started, after I tried to start the shoot, I used my youngest boy, Miro. It's here.
Yeah, which is this one. Yeah.
Yeah. As naked, but nothing appeared, nothing to see. But yeah, that photo. I tried, and I take the photos. I gave a gas, of course, but not the police use like CNCS or OC. That I just gave the dry ice for my models. I started with with these photos, and we came to that point which you showed. It's here actually, and right now it's here. I'm working on them in this period of a pandemic. I worked on this series a lot. As you see, there's a texture. Oops.
Yeah, I can see that, you know, they're very timeless at this moment, this particular with everything that is happening at this moment, you know. It is so funny, you know, when we planned the talk to you last week, you know, and everything started to happen, you know, all these images came to mind because it's a somehow a revolution within the picture, you know, of the body and of what people have to say, you know, and we adore the message that you're trying to conceive here, you know, having the people just being up there naked through the world, you know, and join them all together, you know, that is to achieve that is quite fantastic.
That's uh, I'm so how you say I want to do something. How police attack to the people without this any discrimination, and they attacked, and the people are in front of them, just sting, just
Staying
their
still.
straight, all that nakedness, but stand still there. I wanted to show this to the world because it's not only the problem. Like Turkey has the same kind of demonstration in 7 years ago, 2013. But right now, you can live right now in Miami. The police attack to the people of America. We can see this all around the world. It's a very political series, actually.
It is. It is. It is. It is a moment. But to know that you did this series, how many years ago? In 2013?
No, I made this series after that demonstration in Turkey in 2013. I started to shoot 2015 because with the mirrors, I have to work a lot about my mirror labyrinth. It took me like more than 6 months because I don't have to see myself. I like to see so many reflections, and even I'm not going to see the light as well on that mirror labyrinth. Everything is going to be clear with those reflections. When I started, I put a standing model there. At the end, I'm going to see nearly 30 reflections at the same time, real time. And it's at 360 degrees, that the same pose I see from the different angles, but the same pose in one frame.
Yeah.
And
It is.
after
It's like a movie, you know, with different.
after like that, if I'm going to set the model in my labyrinth, the reflection is going to be like 50s. So I worked on that, and really it took me a time to create of this. So not after 2013 I started, but I started in 2015, and I started to shoot, and it ended 2016.
Yeah. And then, you know, you create these sort of sets and they're in your mind before, and you, it's almost like a movie. Have you done any documentaries about it? Tell us about the documentaries you work on it.
I mean, documentaries I made for the solar plant. It's a commercial, let's say, but these kind of documentaries I never did. But all I first I have to solve all the problems and all the details in my mind before the shooting. At the shooting, I don't want any headaches. Uh, it's hard. I mean, I have to know I'm thinking, because all that reflections I'm thinking in my dreams as well. This reflection go there, go there, go there, go there, and I'm going to calculate for days and days. I always imagine this mirror labyrinth.
Yeah. No, it's quite fascinating because you explore all this sensuality, and it's about the body, it's about the lips, it's about people kissing themselves and confronting their reality towards the mirror. But you also have work, and we actually met through this fantastic lady. Her name just forgot about. She does these amazing pictures under the water, you
I
know, and
figured.
correct. She's very talented, you know, and you have also photographed under the water. You always trying to push it, with the smoke, with the mirrors under the water, always trying to push yourself to the end, And these particular images, I can see that there are like 20 people almost in set, photographing, where there are moments that people cannot breathe.
For these shootings, yes, you're right. Not 20 people, but I like the crew a little bit less. I always use in the mirrors, and the others don't tell mama as well. I came from a fashion photography, so I know the hair and makeup teams. They are my friends. So in my exhibition shootings, I hire them, and they help me a lot. When a model came to the place for an exhibition shoot, she's surprised because it looks like a fashion shoot. The best model, the best model, the best hair and makeup there. Even I made the manicures for them if they need. I do all the styling. So while on the shooting, there is with the assistants like 5-6 people for those shootings. With the gas ones, these ones, this is totally naked. It's different from the other shootings, and inside that labyrinth is so interesting. And when they model enter that, they're surprised what they see inside because of seeing a lot of their selves inside. So on that shooting, there's only 2 or 3 people on the stage except the model, but I gave all those, I did all those gas and everything by myself. I made the system for that. I create a system. While shooting, I can give a gas as well.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. We would love to get a little preview of what you have in your apartment and your loft in Canada. But before that, why Canada? Why not you remain in Istanbul?
Actually, it started with my brother, with my family, because they moved here after 2000, and I started to come here, and half of my families, let's say, living here. So, and the situation in Turkey is not going good, I'm seeing, and they also came against to my exhibition in 2015 or 16. They attacked to the gallery, and after those shooting, I mean, not those shooting, but while I'm shooting these photos in that period, the police helped me. While I'm doing something against them, they are helping me. And the Canada came from my brother, but of course I love to live in Miami. I love Miami a lot.
Everybody want to live in Miami, but it's nice. I think every place is very good, but
But I love Canada. It's nice.
It's a very quiet, and civilized country. I think it's very sweet too.
And I'm working here so good in Canada by myself. I mean, after you, what I did is after December, I returned back here. We have a project with Ayşegül, underwater project, and I edited a film, short film, and it took like more than a month for me because I did all the post-production as well. And after I sent the film to Istanbul, they applied for the Cannes Film Festival, also Toronto's, most of the festivals around the world right now. But this pandemic happened and all the film festivals are postponed right now. Yeah. But we are waiting. It's a good one. It's we called Rebirth, the project. And Ayşegül told me that we have to publish a book. Okay, I said, and I worked for those photos on that days. It's finished. Just I sent, the pandemic happened.
Wow.
And I was at home working. Doesn't matter for me. I'm still working, but I turn to my own projects and continue to work on my projects on these days.
Yeah, because we know we have limited time on Instagram. Sadly, we would love to take a little tour of your prints. You know, to see live and to tell us
Of course, sure.
what you got there. It's great to. It's an artist studio visit. All that.
You start from here. This is I printed this one to stainless steel and give the light. All the frames are designed by me, so I give the lights inside as well. And here, the tool series, the self touches from my gas series. This is from the self touches as well. And this one you show. Wonderful. This is an interesting one that I created this with the framing in 2016. This is a 4-layer photo. There's a 3-layer photos, and the 4th layer is the light at the back. Mm. And this one, I think you saw in Miami.
Yes, I did.
I started to work for these endless mirrors. And as a chance, I saw a couple of examples with the endless mirrors in Miami, but this is with the photo using, I never seen a photograph inside before. And also this is my dinner table, let's say.
It's like a light box in a way, no?
It's a light box. It's under light, and I can change the artwork. This one, there are a couple of different artworks as well. So this is the. Here is the photo. The X in that time.
Great.
This print is from 90s.
For the 90s.
That time. So my loft is like this. I'm working here.
We just rolled this 1-minute video that I invite everybody to take a look on YouTube of your experience during the pandemic working. We just published it on Instagram. It will be until tomorrow, where you have sort of developed this sort of project. That somebody's telling us that one of these tables is in Paris. Some of your collectors are connected now. But the thing is,
how he wrote, yes. He's right. Junaid is we talked about him, about how he opened my future in 2010. He lives in Paris, and in Paris gallery wanted not a dinner table, a coffee table. So I created a coffee table for the Paris gallery, and I sent it to Paris. It's right now in Paris. Also, one of my endless mirror photo, their lips in that gallery.
What is your project? What is next for you? You know, you're doing the book. You're developing all these projects within the work that you already have done many years ago, and because you cannot shoot at this moment, so you are perfecting everything. You are developing new ways to see them. What do you think is going to be your next project after this? Immediately you get out of pandemic.
I started to shoot analog, so I continue to shoot analog for maybe continue to Don't Tell Mama series 2. I'm going to make a Don't Tell Mama series 2. I want to do it's going to be analog, sure. With these reflections, I brought here all my equipment and the system. So my
Sorry.
mirrors, bless, my mirrors are here as well. And if I'm going to continue this reflection series, I know what to do. I taught before. I'm going to be 100 reflections at the same time, so everybody's going to be shocked.
Any book you're
Any
planning to
book?
do
Yes.
on the Don't Tell Mama series?
I have a book, but this is not enough. This is a postcard book. When before I made this in 2010, but right now I'm going to in these days work on my book. I started to work because I stopped. Right now, for me it's a right time because all the things
Yes.
I'm finishing right now, so I can work more for myself or my own book. I think I'm going to publish before the end of this year. So it's
What do you have kids, you know? So what do you say to your kids, you know, being so avant-garde, photographing the nude and always sort of challenging all this concept of what is the body and photography and art. Have you believed that you have created a freedom on them to develop themselves as a free mind? Do you think they're going to be part of your future and working?
I like to work with me before, but I never pushed them. One of my twin boys has enormous eyes, but he hates shooting photos. But he has so good eye. And one of the other twin is an artist, and he opened his first exhibition when he was 15. The third, my youngest one, the Miro, he started to modeling like last 2 years and got acting courses. Right now, he's going to study in acting drama in LA. I wish this fall, if the schools are open. We don't
Yeah,
know yet.
yeah.
But the university approved him, American Academy of Dramatic Arts, even New York and Los Angeles campuses, and he decided to study in LA. We'll see. I never pushed them, but they are all open-minded
And
kids.
they're all in the art in a way, you know.
In a way, yes.
Yeah.
And
What is
twins are
the gift?
making these outfits. They made a brand last year, and they started to produce men's collection, let's say, mostly men, but it's unisex. They are producing this
What did
textile.
you have learned from them? You know, that this young generation has so much to teach us.
They they have in their minds are different from us. I mean, they are the young generation, and they're thinking different in a good way. But
In a good way. Different, but in a good way. What do you is for you the best advice that you can give to a young photographer now and anywhere in the world, especially in Turkey? What do you think it will be your contribution to them, you know, in a way?
uh, in a way, uh, while shooting, they have to know what to do well. No panic. It's there. If they are going to do a panic while in the shooting, it's going to be a mess. It's garbage. I never made stress in my shootings. I always do well what to do. With working as a nude models is so important. You have to make them relax at the shooting. If they are comfortable, relax. If you're relaxed and when they see that you're doing well and you know what to do, the results get much better and better.
Absolutely. It's all about the energy and the passion that you put. Well, we really, we're very happy to show you work. You work now is in RC, on Artsper in Paris, and First Dates in our website. We're very delighted to have you. And
Thank you.
Is anything that you want to note at the end of this conversation? Anything you wanted to add?
I hope we are going to pass all these days so quick and return back to normal life, because at the starting of the pandemic in March and February, I got some invitations for the exhibitions around world. One is opened in March. The Italian, my friends, I mean the galleries, are try to make an exhibition in that time in London. I sent a photo to London, but in that period, Italy is locked down. They couldn't go to the exhibition even. They opened the exhibition online. And I sent a couple of photos to Tokyo, Japan. I don't know how many viewers came to the gallery. The gallery is open in Japan, but I don't know in these days the people are going to see the exhibitions in galleries.
Well, it will happen gradually, yes.
Yeah, I hope these days going to be soon, very soon. So we're back to our normal lives, because these photos that I showed you, the endless mirrors and the other 3-4 layer photos, which my latest series 2 list, which I'm working on it right now. You can't understand from when you see the photo. You have to see the real, because I'm making a misperception on the human brain. And the first layer of the photo become a small texture of the normal photo, and when they come together, it makes a texture, and it's a black and white. The color photo, the normal color photo, is at the back. So when a viewer looked the photo very close, from the human eye, everybody is the same. Just we are focusing on the first layer, first texture layer. So we can't realize at the back. So even when you look close by on the photo, you can't see the nipples. When you get a distance like 5 meters, like 17 foot away, you started to see the whole photo.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's different.
fascinating.
I mean,
It's fascinating to see that. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to see in the real one.
Real one. Yes.
I can't tell or show my photo online. It's okay, you are going to see, but it's not the same taste that you're getting
From a gallery. Well, we really thank you very much. We're very glad to have you on board with us. And thanks to all these amazing people that introduced us. And, thank you for being part today of this talk. I see you have a lot of friends saying hi. And tomorrow we will continue this week, the entire week. Tomorrow we continue with Alice Hodge, a fantastic artist that is in Miami. She's a pottery artist. She does abstract ceramic and figurative work. So it's a completely different angle. Wednesday we're going to have Guillermo Licurgo, he's in Sao Paulo. And then we have several more artists coming. So thank you so much, Koray.
I'll thank you
very soon.
Carlos.
All my best.
All my best to Miami in these days as well.
For you too. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.